Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of my podcast. Today, we are going to be talking about a very touchy subject, and it might be a little bit hard for some people, so a listener's discretion is advised. So, today, we are going to be talking about abuse and in which forms it comes and how to help yourself out of that situation. So, let's talk. So, the legal definition of abuse, it has three meanings. Abuse generally is physically, sexually, or mentally injuring a person. You have child abuse, which is physically, sexually, or mentally injuring a child, either with intent or through neglect. And then we have substance abuse, which is excessive use of legal or illegal substances. So we're going to break this down into three categories and talk about each one on their own. Okay, so let's start off with what is abuse? According to the internet, abuse is when someone hurts or causes emotional stress to someone else. Abuse can affect anyone. It can happen in any kind of relationship, like a friendship, romantic relationship, or among family members. Abuse can happen in many ways. Hate crimes directed at people because of their race, religion, abilities, gender, or sexual orientation. These are also abuse. Okay, so let's get into depth of what the abuses are like. So, physical abuse is when someone hurts another person's body. It includes hitting, shaking, burning, pinching, biting, choking, throwing, beating, and other actions that can cause physical injury, leave marks, or cause pain. Sexual abuse includes any type of sexual contact between an adult and a younger than 18-year-old, or between a significant older child and a younger child. It's also sexual abuse at any age if one overpowers the other. And then we have emotional abuse, which happens when yelling and anger goes too far, or when important adults consistently criticize or threaten or talk down kids and teens until their self-esteem is damaged and they feel really bad about themselves. Emotional abuse can hurt and cause damage, such as physical and sexual abuse too. So let's explore a bit more of abuse, and specifically online abuse. We have online emotional abuse, which is any type of online message sent to bully or hurt another person, like an intimidating or threatening message. We have online sexual abuse, which is when someone is asked to share inappropriate pictures of themselves, take part in sexual activities via webcam or smartphone, and or have sexual conversations by text or online chat. Sometimes the people who do this give or promise to give things to get someone to go along with their activities. The lasting effects of this abuse include images and videos that can be shared along after the abuse stops. Abuse when it comes to children is a lot similar to normal abuse. And the biggest abuse when it comes to children is neglect. And neglect is defined as neglect is when a child or teen doesn't have enough food, housing, clothes, medical care, access to school, or supervision. Emotional neglect happen when a parent doesn't pay enough attention to their child. This isn't when the parents don't give their child something they want, like a new computer or a smartphone. It refers to some more basic needs, like food, shelter, and love. Between adults, you have domestic violence, which is when two adults physically abuse each other or when one adult hurts another. Domestic violence can be hard for a child or teen to watch and get a young person hurt, especially if adults throw or damage items while fighting. Something very often with children is bullying. And the definition of bullying is bullying someone through scaring, threats, or teasing can just be abusive as beating. People who bully others may have been abused themselves. And I think that's very true. I think when we hurt, instead of dealing with our own pain and our own angers and things like that, we tend to look to others and try and put the pain on them. And I don't think that's a very good thing. It's actually a very bad thing. Okay, so moving on to substance abuse. Substance abuse isn't something you should take lightly. It occurs when you use alcohol, prescription medicine, other legal or illegal substances in the wrong way. It can even progress to addiction. Many people with substance abuse problems are able to quit or are not able to change their unhealthy behavior. Addiction, on the other hand, is a disease. It means you can't stop, even when using your condition causes you harm. Common substance abuses include alcohol, tobacco, and a bit more serious things like cocaine, meth, and even marijuana at a certain point. Because I know, especially with marijuana, if you're under the age of 25, your brain's receptors are fast and they are supposed to move fast. And by using marijuana, it slows them down because it kind of puts a middleman in between the receptors, and it first has to pass through that, and that can lead to long-term disabilities like not being able to learn or things like that. So I do have a few hotlines if you were to need them. First of all, it is Love is Respect, and it is 1-866-331-9474. Then we have the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, which is 1-800-273-8255. And this one is open 24/7. Then we have the Trevor Project, which is 866-488-7386. It is also open 24/7. Then we have the National Eating Disorder Association, which is 1-800-931-2237. Next, we have the Crisis Text Line. You should text support to 741-741. Then we also have the National Alliance and Mental Illness, which is 1-800-950-6264. I also just want to include a few quotes which I think are very important for some people to realize, or just come to the realization that things might not be okay. And it says, "Family is supposed to be our safe haven. Very often, it's the place where we find our deepest heartache." Next, we have, "I was a broken heart. Scared. I had a lot of anxiety. I was worried. I felt weak. I had no idea how I was ever going to come up with the strength. But I just closed my eyes and took a blind leap. I knew I had to get out of there." And it's very important to know that your situation or your circumstances shouldn't be able to hold you back as a person or keep you from doing the things that you love, the things that you deserve. And it comes back to almost the child abuse part, and where it says that you don't have access to enough love or medical care or clothing, housing, and things like that. And I think it's very important that even if you're going through this, you should not judge yourself or even listen to somebody else who is judging you or who might be judging you, even if it's a own family member. The path and the journey that you're taking is yours, and it's yours truly. No one can take that away from you, and it is who you are as a person. Lots of us grow up in circumstances that are not great, and it's important to know that you're not alone. There are lots of people who care. There are lots of people who want to help, who can help, as long as you seek the help yourself. And yes, that was another episode of a podcast with me, Sean Sutherland. I'm sorry about today's podcast. It was a bit emotional. But yes, you should have an amazing day. I believe in you. You should believe in you. And yeah, let's do this.